This podcast is brought to you by Impact.com. Impact.com is the world's leading partnership management platform. Are you looking for new ways to acquire new customers? Impact.com can help you drive revenue through partnerships with publishers, creators, or other brands. Visit Impact.com today.
If your advocacy program isn't generating at least 10% of your new revenue, then you really are not tapping into this channel.
You're listening to the Affiliate Marketing Podcast brought to you by Affyversemedia.com, the chapter and verse of everything you need to know about running a successful affiliate program for your business. Now, here's your award-winning affiliate and performance marketing host and industry veteran, your affiliate marketing guide and the founder of Affyverse, Leanne Johnston.
Ever wondered how some brands seem to effortlessly grow their customer base? The secret might be hiding in plain sight, right within their existing customers. Today, we're delving into the world of customer advocacy with Will Fraser, head of advocates by Impact.com. Will's journey from electrical engineer to advocacy expert is as unexpected as it is inspiring. In this episode, we'll explore the blurring lines between consumers, influencers, and affiliates. Will shares insights on why traditional ads are losing their punch and how savvy brands are turning into their own customers for growth. Think customer advocacy is just about consumer brands? Think again. Will's about to challenge that assumption with some eye-opening insights. He'll reveal how even high-ticket B2B software companies are tapping into the power of customer referrals, turning satisfied users into valuable advocates. You'll be surprised how six-figure SaaS products are leveraging this strategy to drive incremental growth. So grab a cup of coffee, join us for a chat that might just change how you think about your customers and how you elevate your affiliate marketing strategy.
Welcome to this week's Affiliate Marketing Podcast, our finale episode of this season, which has been sponsored by Impact.com. And joining me today is Will Fraser, head of advocates by Impact.com. Well, I am super excited to have you on the podcast with me this week because we met in London a couple of weeks ago at the IPX event. We hit it off. We started talking about advocacy, and I thought I need to get you here. So thank you so much for being on the podcast with me this week.
Thank you so much for having me on here today, Leanne. This is really exciting for me. I'm excited to talk to you and keep the conversations we've been having going.
Okay. So the first question I normally ask any of my lovely guests that join me is, let's start with your backstory, because I know you've had a really exciting acquisition into Impact. So tell us a little bit about how you got into the industry, why you started focusing on advocacy, and how you landed up being head of advocate at Impact.com.
So I actually started life as an electrical engineer. So I went to school for electrical engineering, really loved that space, and started working in construction engineering, basically consulting engineering. If there's one thing that's going to help you make a career change, it's an economic downturn. So economic downturn in 2008, 2009 happened, and the work dried up. So being a responsible young person, I decided to go backpacking and take my few dollars I had and explore the world. But I was lucky enough that while I was out there, my co-founder, Logan, decided that it was time to start a company. So I got a phone call and me and him got together and I came home and we started our very first company. And we started that company in the social media promotion space. So this was like a page on Facebook, share a tweet on Twitter, get entered to win a prize. It was a really interesting space at the time. We learned a lot. We learned how to, be able to use customers' influence to influence their friends. We learned how to promote products, all sorts of fun things. But we also learned that when you become dependent on a platform like Facebook, maybe one day you come to work and they've changed how Facebook works and the entire company's dead. So, we had learned a lot. Yeah, we'd learned a lot in that project, but ultimately that one didn't quite work out for us. But what we did learn is that we could get customers to use their influence to encourage their friends to take actions. And we learned that it was going to be more valuable for brands if that action was directly connected to revenue versus being more kind of like an intangible nature, right? Maybe liking a Facebook page or watching a movie trailer. So we knew that if we could connect it to revenue, we could drive that influence. We knew that. And then we knew there was a technical gap in making this happen for a large chunk of businesses online. So that's when we started building SaaSquatch. And so we built that company. We actually built it focused on software as a service businesses at first. And the thing about software as a service businesses is that they're very complex in their user journeys. So we had lots of fun figuring out how to kind of do the hard mode, if you will. So we worked on that product for a long time. We ended up expanding into other verticals like retail, fintech, subscription services, all sorts of stuff. And then as we continue to build that product, we expanded that further into more rewards and really got a good sense of the entire industry. But my kind of organic journey just kind of came from engineering into building product, into figuring it out, into a small business collapse, then into the building of SaaSquatch. And then just over a year ago, it was really time to take SaaSquatch to the next level. And we were looking for a partner that could really help bring SaaSquatch to the global stage. That could help us bring it out, into other regions, could help bring that understanding and confidence to customers. And Impact.com was just the most logical option for that. So we joined forces with Impact.com and have now launched Advocate, which is an exciting referral platform that works right inside of the Impact.com platform.
What an interesting story, number one. I mean, firstly, engineering into affiliate marketing and performance marketing. Everybody I meet in this industry and all the people that I bring onto this podcast have got such amazing stories about how they entered into the industry. And I think that's what makes this industry great. The fact that we've got this melting pot of all different types of experiences, viewpoints of the market, and it's all coming together under the kind of performance marketing umbrella. And it's really exciting. Like I'm really excited to talk about this because you and I kicked off our conversation when we met about like understanding that advocacy is the top of funnel in the partnerships economy. Like we've been talking about the partnerships economy for a long time. So I wanted to kind of like ask you the first question. You explained it really well what customer advocacy is and how you can use it to leverage and drive performance. But why is it important that brands are looking at customers as advocates right now? So tell us a little bit about what advocacy actually means, because some people think it's just refer a friend, and it goes way deeper than that. And then we'll kind of get into the nitty-gritty of how it fits into the partnership economy and why I think of it as top of funnel.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think the first thing we have to look at right now is that there's an all-time low trust in ads, right?
Yes.
So your traditional ads are what we see is about 2% of people believe that they are being influenced or want to trust an ad, right? Versus, 86% of people saying they trust the referrals of their friend, or the recommendations, I should say, of their friends. And so, I think that's like really the motivation for this, right? We have this customer base that doesn't trust broad ads, but they trust each other. And so advocacy is so important because if there's one thing that's going to get someone to purchase your product, it is going to be the recommendation of a friend, right? Now, advocacy happens in a ton of different ways, right? Advocacy could be, yes, absolutely, a refer a friend program, but advocacy can also be the posting of some content of someone, just consuming your product, wearing your product, using your product. Advocacy can be someone working with your brand. There's a bunch of different ways it works, but the idea is that we as customers trust other customers, or our consumers trust other consumers. And we think that it's really important. The other trends we're seeing, of course, is not only do people distrust ads are way more expensive. So, it's a low effective, high cost method that's, just getting more expensive and less trusted. So if you're not building this advocacy with your customer base, you're just getting to your place where your business model eventually is going to break, right? And
it puts a strain on the sales process too, because just this week, and not that I want to date this episode, but Google just this week announced its U-turn on cookie deprecation. Yeah. Now we've all been kind of like, flapping our wings to get ready for it in 2025, only to be told, oh, by the way, it's not happening anymore. And a lot of effort, time, money, all of that kind of stuff has been put into making sure that we can get into all of these other channels and ensure that our, lead streams are working. And we forget about the fact that we already have a whole army of lead referrers already in our database from the customers that are purchasing from us. So I love the fact that you've kind of like explained it that way. Then you add on top of that the fact that ads are getting more and more expensive and less effective. But also think about who are you speaking to as a consumer segment, because the younger generation of our customers that we're serving don't want to integrate and work with the internet the same way that people you and I, our age did.
Right.
And I think advocacy feeds really nicely into that customer segment as well.
Yeah, it's really interesting when you look at the younger generations right now as well, because the lines are blurring. They're blurring fast between what is a consumer, what is an influencer, maybe what's a micro publisher. Yeah. They're blurry, but they're really savvy. Like they understand what's happening. Like you're saying, like when we grew up with social media, people were advertising products and not declaring it. Right. Yeah. It was, there was paid sponsorship that wasn't being stated. And now you've got a generation that's growing up, like their entire existence, potentially, they have knowing that these are ads and they know they're being sold, which is fine. They get it. They are creating authentic relationships with these creators or with these partners. but they also kind of want to get in on the game. So it's a little bit interesting of a time where they're not afraid to make a referral or make a recommendation or share a link because it's so socially acceptable inside of their circles because they've grown up in a world where the celebrities of their time are doing it. So it's a very interesting time for capturing that customer advocacy. And what I would say is if you're not generating some accidental advocacy today, like by that I just mean like that should just be generally unprompted positive word of mouth. I would say that there's an advocacy program or initiative you could start that just starts with why aren't people saying those positive things about us? Like just start at that fundamental ground level. And if you are, like most brands are having that, it's a great time to put a formal program in place to really try to like put some lighter fluid on that fire.
So let's talk a little bit about what an advocacy program should look like. Like what should brands or companies, SMEs, whoever's going to be putting this advocacy program in place, what do they need to get started? When is the right time to do it? And how do they structure this advocacy program? Can you give us some examples of really good, cool, easy to implement, like really effective ones that you've seen in your career?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that the first thing, just to look at an advocacy program versus an affiliate type program.
Yeah.
One of the things we just want to remember is these aren't professionals. As much as I said they've grown up in a world where they understand this world, these are not professional affiliates. They are not businesses. So they are not going to go through in a similar experience, right? They're not willing to, they don't want to negotiate terms with you. They're not looking to go through a process where they've got to hand over banking information, tax information, things that are totally reasonable as a business engaging in an affiliate program. Just don't make sense for your average, advocate out there. So the first thing we want to look at is how do we build these really seamless, low friction programs, right? How do you make it almost like an accident they made a referral, right? And so the first thing we want to do in our advocacy programs is we want to try to get into the customer journey where the customer is already and when they're happy, right? So if you're a retailer, this is most likely post-checkout. They've got the endorphins going. They've just got the thing. They're excited. This is like a peak moment. Potentially we want to get it in front of them as well. We know that they've received the package. What a great time to ask for advocacy as well. But it's a lot about prompting them at those moments of happiness, right? So I think that's one of the big things to remember is like we got to get them at the happy moments and that they're going to need really low friction on brand experiences because they're just, they're consumers. They're not going to go through that hassle. But now when we actually look to structure these kind of programs, yes, the simplest advocacy program you can look at and one of the most effective really is that refer a friend program. And when we look at that refer a friend program, one of the things, again, just to kind of compare and contrast it to affiliate, in affiliate, we're often thinking, how much can we pay the partner, right? Like we know this is a business, they're in it for the money. And that's fine. That's the business transaction we're in. It's interesting when we get to advocacy, they're not really in it for the money. And if they are in it for the money, we should recruit them into the affiliate program. You know what I'm saying? Like that's fine. You could be in it for the money. Let's do the business relationship. So when we're looking at that, we're saying, can we reward these advocates with things that deepen their relationship with the brand? Can we give them a discount, exclusive access, early access, whatever it might be? So if we can try to give them that makes sense. In some cases, that doesn't make sense. Take a mattress company. I don't need another mattress. I've only got 2 bedrooms. I only need 2 mattresses. That's that. So sure, there's times when we look at something that's like a more monetary reward. But it's interesting, in referral programs, you don't need to necessarily pay that much. And if you pay too much, you create some very strange behaviors. But then the other flip to this is, if you were in a referral program or an advocacy program, they're trying to bring the new friend onto the business. And the new friend actually is the one that has the biggest kind of friction, the biggest hill to climb, because they have to try something new. So we actually want to pay more attention to rewarding the new customer than the existing customer. So it can be kind of counterintuitive. Some brands want to only reward the existing customer. They're thinking more like affiliate style. If you were only going to reward one of 2, we have research that shows you would rather reward the new customer because they have to adopt a new product. So you think about that reward structure is important, but it's lower values often, and it's more focused to the new customer than the existing customer.
And what about some companies that you've seen that have built really successful advocacy programs? Because I know of one, and that is the Pura Vida brand, where they make these beautiful little like bracelets for women, females, whoever wants to wear them. And they actually turned a really great profit with using customers as advocates. And I see a lot more brands, a lot more socially responsible brands that are really doing really different types of products like health and wellness products. They're all moving into this advocacy phase because they're seeing the results are really profitable. And I think you shared some results in your presentation at IPX. It was like 40% increase in revenue just by building an advocacy program that made your customers feel extra special. I mean, that's like money on a table that nobody's touching at the moment, I think.
Yeah. If your advocacy program isn't generating at least 10% of your new revenue, then you really are not tapping into this channel. And I think, unfortunately, we see a lot of businesses are check marking this. Like, yeah, I have it. And it might be generating 1%, maybe less. But like really good working programs are in the double digits of your new revenue, right? So of your new customers or your new subscriptions. And they have very meaningful impacts. But the other pieces that we were talking about ads being more expensive, we find good programs. They're almost half the acquisition cost of paid ads through an advocacy program.
That's phenomenal. Yeah.
Right? You're saving huge amounts of money. But then the coolest piece is that these referred customers, these customers your advocates brought in, on average are actually worth about 18% more on a lifetime value. So they're spending more with you, and they are substantially more likely to advocate or to refer more customers. So they're the cheapest customers, the most valuable customers, and the most likely to bring you new customers. So it's just like this amazing triple whammy.
It's like a flywheel. They're just self-propelling. It keeps growing the whole time. Yeah, which is awesome. Now, in the spectrum of, because a lot of people listening to this podcast are running, global international affiliate programs, some agencies, some networks, some, brand side marketers. When I refer to advocacy as being the top of the funnel of the partnerships economy, like I'm seeing it, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm seeing it just for people that are listening. If you think about the funnel, it's wider at the top, smaller at the bottom. You've got the customer advocacy program at the top that's kind of grinding in the background, bringing you in that 10% of new sales all the time, with very little effort by the sounds of things, based on how you've kind of described it. Under that, you probably have influencers or ambassadors or micro-influencers that are kind of doing the social media aspect. Under that, you've got what I call traditional affiliates, the affiliates that are doing the reviews, the content, the bloggers, the paid media, all of that kind of stuff where we pay on performance. Under that, you've probably got the big media publishers that are now hopping into the performance channel. And then you've got like the tech suppliers that kind of sit right at the bottom that are like integral to that user experience journey. Have I sort of explained that correctly for people that are listening? Do you think that's an accurate representation of what we're looking at?
I think it is, but I think one of the I think one of the interesting things is that advocacy programs are actually like the farm team for that funnel.
Yeah.
Right. So you've got these advocates that are up there, and they're doing that big, broad, spread and awareness. But every month you should be looking into that base and saying, who in here is actually, should I be promoting to an influencer or to an affiliate? Because you're going to find that inside your customer base, you actually have some of your customer base is more professional, is bigger, has bigger reach, and you should be pulling them down into those other layers. So that's one of the cool things to me is it is the top of the funnel, but it's also like the top of the recruiting funnel too. So you have this ability to go discover partners inside of your own customer base. So instead of going out there and trying to find an influencer that, connects with your brand audience and this and that, you're just going into your customer base and saying, hey, here's an influencer that is an actual customer, and now I want to pull them in. Or here's an affiliate who actually uses our product, understands it, and now I want to work with them. So, I think that's like a really exciting part of the funnel as well. Kind of maybe a parallel funnel, but it's an awesome recruitment funnel as well.
And recruitment is hard in our space, finding new partners, finding new affiliates to join an already big program. This is a real niche that perhaps some of the affiliate managers listening to this podcast can actually go and dig around in and do some customer research and see what they can find. I want to get a little bit into the technical side because when I spoke to you, and I hope that this is still accurate, but as an existing affiliate program manager, you can actually use the Advocate by Impact as a single standalone piece of the tech. You don't have to actually have your whole program integrated onto Impact. So is that still possible? Can people sign up to Advocate by Impact and just use the advocacy part to manage the customers in the database? Because I would imagine that there's technical things that you can't just force these people into your affiliate program, because your affiliate program is going to have a sign-up flow, the approval process. It's going to be a little bit confusing, and you want to have that frictionless space where people can literally give you their name, their email address, and get a code, and off they go. Like, what does that technical spec look like, and what should you have in place to run a successful advocacy program?
Yeah, so you absolutely can do by Advocate by itself. It does not require the rest of the Impact suite, although it does work well with the rest of the suite. As far as the technical pieces go, what's really cool is it's actually very similar to setting up any of the other impact products. And why I think that's cool is because if you go ahead and set up an advocate program first, you're already ready to go with our other products, right?
Okay.
So you've got to go ahead, you've got to send us the things you'd expect. Like, what's the conversion event? So what are we going to convert on? Now, what's really cool is if you're a retail, of course, that's probably a checkout. You're going to send us a purchase.
Sure.
But if you're fintech, let's say, you could send us some more complicated steps, right? You could say someone needs to create an account, be approved, fund it, and then maintain a balance of $3,000 for 6 months. We have the power to take all that on side and take care of that. You just send us that information. We take care of the logic and the rest on that. And then you need to just put these kind of widgets into your experience. And these are those low friction widgets, right? So you could go ahead and put like a post checkout widget in. That's going to just make it easy. Someone's just purchased. Want you to refer a friend? You can put a widget onto your website for referred friends so that they can, maybe get a coupon code, things like that. A little bit of JavaScript. It's nothing too big, but we also have more, other options there. Some people want to embed it right inside of their web or mobile apps. We have lots of great technology to do that, really seamlessly embedded inside of an app. Or if you can't do any of that, you want to be just really quick, we can offer what we call microsites, but it's just a subdomain, if you will, refer.company.com. So you've got to have this widget experience, you got to have this tracking experience, and then it just comes to the rewards. And if you want to go really fast, we have a great gift card vendor we work with that you can go ahead and give out gift cards, coupons, but you can also do cash, credit, whatever other points, whatever other kind of means you want to give out. So it's not a overly complex. It doesn't have to be an overly complex integration. Obviously, the deeper and more seamless you want to bring it in, the more work there is. But we do find that the more seamless you can make these programs for your customers, the better. And it's just kind of a reality of what you can do there.
Well, the other thing is as you were talking about all of that, I was thinking about my own business and going, that would be great if I could have an advocacy platform and then also add in all the products that I recommend or tools that I think affiliate managers need to use, and you could get discounts on all of those tools. So a lot of good ideas here, people. I think listen into on this podcast and see how you can really leverage that advocacy aspect, especially in the B2B SaaS industry, because it is one of the fastest growing industries. It works with influencers and advocates who, typically become resellers of their products. And this is a great way to actually reward them and get them at that top of the funnel space before you move them down to become a proper traditional referring partner.
Right. And I think it's really important to touch on that B2B SaaS space just for a second. I think it's important to remember that like B2B SaaS users are consumers. They do have consumer behavior. Like they may not have bought it as a consumer, but we see huge success in B2B SaaS platforms with price tags up to $50,000, $60,000 a year, right? We see decent price tag SaaS products being referred, and it really does work. It works, of course, like I said, in fintech and retail and lots of other verticals as well. But the B2B SaaS is one that sometimes people are kind of like, I don't know, I don't think it's going to work. This is an amazingly cost-effective channel when done right in B2B SaaS as well. So definitely don't count it out if you're in the B2B space at all. It's actually, for some B2B SaaS, what we find is this is actually like the better on-ramp into the partnership economy if you haven't done anything. Because, in the affiliate side, you've got to go and make those partnerships, and you've got to bring on, the publishers or the affiliates, and it can be a little bit harder, especially if you're a little bit more unknown. But yeah, we find this can be a really effective tool in the B2B space as well as the other more traditional consumer spaces.
As I say, because that first 6 months of launching an affiliate program is really all about grinding. We've kind of spoken about what advocacy is. We've spoken about how it works. We've spoken about what you need in order to get started. We've spoken about the technical stuff that Impact can support you with. As you see the partnership economy expanding, what do you think the future of affiliate marketing looks like from your perspective? Because I always like to see how other people are viewing the market versus just how I view it.
Yeah, I think I kind of alluded to it a little bit already. I think we're seeing lines blurring. So I think that's one of the biggest pieces here is this idea of classifications of type of partner is getting a little bit more messy, but we're seeing kind of products and solutions trying to meet that blurring line. So whether that's like, I call them amateur affiliates, right? Yeah. So I think we have this whole level of, is it really a consumer? Is it an affiliate? Is it an influencer? I don't know. And so there's different experiences and different solutions needed for them. So I think we're going to continue to see the lines blurring between these things. The other thing that I personally think is that there's we've seen a lot of the same tactics working from the publisher side, the publisher side for a while now, the affiliate side, whether that's review sites or things like that. And I think we're going to see some innovation coming out there. To me, yes, everyone's excited about AI and large language models and things like that. And I think that's important. I don't think that's really been applied yet effectively in the affiliate space for the actual affiliates. And so I think there's a huge amount of opportunity there on how to build better consumer experiences that, I guess I'll say consumer experiences that are accidentally affiliate experiences, where it's much less like a listicle or a review site.
Yeah.
It's much more like a shopping assistance or a shopping experience that's going to, of course, be under the hood, actually, an affiliate program. So not quite an LTK, but think more towards that vein. Those are a couple of the big things I see coming. Yeah, I also, just have to keep digging into the fact that everyone is an affiliate now. Like everyone under the age of 20, they grew up in that world.
Yeah, the other thing is you actually hit the nail on the head. There's a lot of affiliates that should have advocacy programs because they need to now actually gather first-party data instead of just sending their traffic from one place to another and earning commission for it when it tracks. Having your own advocacy program as an affiliate is a great way to actually build customer community around your own affiliate brand, start to gather that first-party data, and really add incremental value to your affiliate business. So this isn't just for affiliate managers, it's for publishers too. Like advocacy is for everybody. If you've got a customer base, you should be leveraging. And basically, that's the moral of this story this week.
Yeah, absolutely. And if, this is the gasoline to pour on the fire, right? So to build that customer base. So then we would just kind of put a little gasoline on there through the advocacy program and off we go.
All right. So last 3 pieces of advice or 2 pieces of advice that you want to leave our listeners with as we round up this really informative session. To get started, what do you need?
To get started, you need buy-in, and the rest we can make happen, right? Just commit. You have to have some commitment for a year. This is going to work. And, we have all sorts of different solutions, different levels of, skill implementation, but have buy-in. If you need help building a business case, reach out. We are willing to help you get that buy-in, but get the buy-in from your team, and then, we'll find the right solution for you.
Well, it has been an absolute pleasure to have you on the podcast this week to talk to us about customer advocacy, to tell us how to actually build those advocacy programs, and to bring that into the partnership economy as we explore and expand our affiliate programs around the world. It has been my pleasure to host you, and thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you so much for having me, Leanne. This has been an absolute pleasure.
The Elevate Summit is coming to London on the 16th and 17th of September, and it's shaping up to be the affiliate and lead gen conference of the year. But don't take my word for it. Here's why Paul Fernandez from The Growth Guys thinks you should be there too.
So I'm coming to present at Elevate Summit this year to provide some really insightful and actionable insights that I think marketers can take away, SMEs can take away and implement straight away to actually help them grow their business better and bigger. And I think the better thing is really key. I'm going to be taking people through how to test and validate new markets and show them a really, really practical way of validating an idea, validating that market, and then actually showing them practical elements of being able to go through that methodology and that process and being more comfortable with testing new markets.
Folks, this is your chance to rub shoulders with industry leaders, gain cutting-edge insights, and maybe even find your next big business opportunity. Haven't snagged your ticket yet? Well, what are you waiting for? Head on over to affiversemedia.com/elevate-2024 and secure your ticket now. Time is running out, and trust me, you really don't want to miss this. We're looking forward to seeing you join us at Elevate.